Hello, Ebba here. Look at the mess I have on my desk. My goodness. What am I doing today? Well, I have some paper clips of different sizes. I have some white card. I have a bunch of strips of paper over here. And I have a bunch of ephemera over here. You'll have to excuse me. I have to be sucking on a cough candy or I won't make it through this video. So just pardon me for that. I'm still struggling with this whatever, and it seems to have turned into a full-blown cold now. Perhaps I can get through that and it'll go away. We shall see. In the meantime, I have stuff I need to do. So over on this side, I'm sorry for the glare. If I stand up and turn the light down a little bit, I'll be out of breath. So I'm not going to bother doing that. Gary stepped out for a few minutes. When he comes back in, I'll get him to just tone the light down a bit and we won't have that as badly. But all of this on this side is shiny. It has gold around the edges. You might be able to see it sort of shining a bit there. And it's a very, very nice cardstock. Beautiful images on it. This is left from a kit that I bought a few years ago. Okay, I hope that's better for you all. Gary's just walked through the door. He's got some happy mail in there, and he's going out with Bree. Okay, let's get back to this. Where was I? Oh yes, this. Now I used to buy kits a few years ago from a company called Crafty. They're awesome. They're in the UK. They also have a branch in the US. They have magazines that are crafting magazines of various types, and they have quite a few that are paper crafting. And they also have these really beautiful magazine kits, they call them. And they also come, there's books that are full of things. And anyway, I used to buy from them quite often. I actually bought quite regularly from them until postage got too high. And then I had to stop because the postage was costing me more than what I was buying. As we all know, we don't want to be spending our crafting money on postage if we can help it. So I stopped buying from them, but if you're in the US, you can buy from them online, and they do have deals for people that are in the US for free postage and cheap postage and things. So check them out, Crafty. I'll put a link, or not necessarily a link, but I'll put their name in the drop-down area below. Anyway, this is a kit. Actually, there's a couple of kits here. One was this one, which is like a Christmas kit. And they came with a lot of ephemera. If you're a friend of mine, you might even recognize some of the images from cards and things that I was making at the time. This is from another one of the kits. It had animals in it, and it was just beautiful. I still have quite a lot of that left, but this is the only one I brought over here in case I wanted to use one of those. Now what we're going to make today is we're going to take these paper clips and we're going to turn them into something really beautiful instead of just a paper clip. It will still be a functional paper clip, but you'll be able to use it rather than just poking it onto a page and having it looking like this or this or this or this or whatever. It'll be really pretty. And you can do these in any style you want, depending on what you choose as your decorations. So I have over on the side here where you can't see it, I also have a box of various types of ribbons and ties and lace and things that I can use to decorate the tops if I want to. And then over underneath that, well, you can't see it, but it was underneath it, I have this box of, get that up into the middle and get it turned around, flowers that I put together. So you can use things like this. I mean, they can be as bulky or as flat as you need them to be. And you can make these as actual bookmarks. So if you have a friend, for instance, or you read, and you like a pretty bookmark, then, you know, make yourself a few of these things and put them together. You can make them long if you want to, but you don't have to. They can be short because they're a paper clip. And we'll set that aside. Now, I'm going to turn this card over because I've already made a mark on it, just to show you what I've done. So down here, I think you can see it down here, I've drawn a line with a pencil. To get that line, I took a paper clip. Now I'll use this blue one because you can see it better. I took a paper clip and I kind of set it in a way that it's kind of in the middle of how I want to be gluing. And you need quite a long strip, so use the full width of an 8.5 by 11 if you have it. And you only need plain, but you should have a lightweight cardstock as opposed to a paper. If you use paper, use a heavier paper, because otherwise it'll fall apart too quickly for you. Then anyway, so you want to make it so that it's about 3 times the width, 3 times the width of your paper clip, and then 3.5 to 4 times the length. In this case, because it's a large paper clip, I'm getting 3.5 basically of the length, which is a width. And it's fine because we're going to be folding this and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then we want to cut this. Now I didn't pre-cut, so I'm going to get my trusty scissors out. We're going to just cut this, and I'm going to try to cut a straight line even. And I've got in the area right where you can't see, just below where my hand is right here, I have masking green painter's tape around the edge. I've been trying different methods of staying within the bounds of where I'm supposed to be showing you things so that you can actually see them and they're not beyond the screen. Okay, I'm just going to set the card aside because we only need one at a time. Now you can make these on any size paper clip you'd like. At the beginning there I had 3 different sizes. I had the really big ones, I had the sort of medium sized ones, and I had some small ones. I had the big ones, the medium ones, and the small ones, and you can use any size. Just measure them the way I talked about there and you'll get the right amount. And if you get too much paper, you can cut it off. It's fine. Now what you want to do is you want to have enough fold. So you're going to fold this in half. I'm going to use this silver one, and I'm just going to push those up. Now I want to fold this in half, and it doesn't have to be exact or anything, but I'm trying to get it more or less straight, just for your own sanity, if nothing else. I like to use a bone folder and just really squish this one down. Okay. You slide this. See, this is the part that would normally hook onto your paper, right? So if you're going to put it on to your paper. Now, everybody has their own way of using a paper clip. And there's 2 ways, and you pick your own. And later on, this could become something. Do you put the paper clip yourself onto the paper with the short end at the back or the short end at the front? Because everybody does it differently. Or not everybody, but people do it differently. So you've got the 2 ways of doing it, even with a cloth candy. Anyway, you make that choice later on as to which is your front and which is your back. But for now, you want to take your paper clip, and however it goes on, you want to slide it on like this. Center it as best you can. So look at your 2 edges, not up here. Look at your 2 edges and try and get the distance here approximately the same, and kind of line it. Now, here's another thing. If you want to decorate with a bow or a string or a beaded thing or something like that, push this up so you have a little bit of the paper clip over the edge of the paper, and then do your sort of straightening and pushing it so it's more or less even. Okay? That gives you something to hook onto later. Okay, so now there's 2 ways again of handling this part. I'm a person who likes it to be, I like to know where the short side is of mine. And I find that if I do know where the short part is, then I can put the paper clip in and it slides in better. If you don't mind having two, or you think that it's important to have the two bottom edges the same length, then you're going to fold slightly different. So what you do is you fold up, and this time you really want to get it even on your edges. And you push and press. Take your bone folder, press that down, kind of push in the middle, although you won't be pushing much there because you've got a loop, right? Then turn it around. Now here's where it is. So if you want it the same length, you're going to fold here. If you want the short part, which is what I like, then you're going to fold to the short round part. Okay? Hopefully that made sense. I'll make a couple of these so that you kind of get that. But yeah, so there and there. Now, this is just leftovers, and we're just going to lop that off because it's not necessary. So you've got these two pieces that are sitting up above where your paper clip thing ends. So just bend those lightly back because you're just marking right now. You're just marking. So bend those lightly back so that you can still see your paper clip bit, right? Your sticky out part. Now I want to decorate this one with string and stuff. So, and then kind of turn this. You can actually flap it out because you've got your folds in place now. Just don't move your paper clip if you can help it. And then just cut that. Now where you folded it, cut it on this side of the fold so that you're not getting the fold, that lump from the fold, where you're going to try and glue everything down. So just right on the very edge of the fold on the inside. And then that sits like that. And then we do the same thing on the other side just to get that off even. Now, I'm sorry if you're a person who's more advanced and you think I should go faster, but I am trying to include more beginner's level stuff. So I'm going a little slower so that beginners can keep up and learn how to do this properly. I hope that's satisfactory to everybody. There, now you can see where this on mine is shorter. Now if you did it the other way, this would be even. And maybe I'll make one a small one where it's even. Anyway, so there you have that. Now, you need your glue. Any PVA glue will work. Elmer's, Aleene's, You could use Mod Podge even on this if you wanted to. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. And you have to paint it on, kind of. Anyway, take your glue, and you want a pretty decent amount of glue in between here because you're gluing this so that it lasts. Don't forget to do in the center, in here, right in this part, because you need that to be glued. And glue here, and try and get your upper edges and your corners and all of that. And if you're really fussy, you'll take your finger and smooth it. I'm not that fussy. And then tap your glue. And push this down. Now try not to glue the other side to it. So just push this down. Take your Kleenex or whatever. You can use a wet wipe or try not to get, if you're using a wet wipe, try not to get your hard stock actually wet. Give this a press in the middle because you do want that to hold. Give this a press out here. If you want, take another paper clip, a different size, and slide it down on the edges. And let that sit for a moment. Push in the middle. You can't put somebody in the middle, but you can do this. If you hear rattling around in the kitchen from the other side of the room, that's Gary putting away groceries. So you'll have to just pardon us. We have to go on with life too. Do the videos, go on with life. Anyway, yeah, so you push down until you can see that the middle is staying, and then you take your paper clips. You can take the paper clips off at that point because your glue is sticking. It's not completely cured, but it's sticking enough. And then turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Lots of glue in the middle and over here. Glue on the corners and on the edges. Yeah. See, when you're pushing it down, you push the glue out. So you kind of hit the edges if you push it right. And that really helps because it gets the edges glued. You really want them glued so they stay. Grab your paper clips, put them in. Take another one, put it in, get in. Let's go the other way and get in there. There you go. Look at you. There, then push down just to glue the middle. This won't show, this dent won't show because you're going to be covering this up. You've got lots of choices in making this little project. Some of the choices are going to affect the design. Other choices are just choices like, you know, I mean, it all affects the design, I guess. Anyway, there you have it. That's a covered paper clip, not hidden yet. If you take a piece of paper and see, this is where you need to do this. You need to actually do this while the glue is still down to make sure you haven't, like, glue hasn't leaked down and is gluing inside, because of course you need that loose. You need this inside part loose. But that's your paper clip, and you know, you'll be able to pull it in and out and whatever. Use it either way. Anything. I mean, I use these all the time. I have one that's very simple. It's not very pretty either. It's just one that I slapped together because I needed one for my journal. I transfer it now from one journal to the next. Okay, so what's the next thing? Well, now you want to make it pretty. So you can do this a number of ways. I'm choosing this to be my back. So this is where you make a choice. Which is your back, which is your front. When you're putting on your paper clip, take note of which side you feel more comfortable sliding over your paper. That's your front and your back, okay? If you feel more comfortable with the short end on the front, that becomes your front, okay? This becomes your back. Simple. Okay, I want this as my back. And I'm not going to worry about my back right now. I'm going to worry about my front. Now over on this side, move my scissors, move my glue Kleenex. There we go. Over on this side, where I have all these pretty things, I have a bunch of big things. Now a big paper clip can take big if you want to use it, or if you prefer, you can use smaller. And the idea is to hide this. So it can be anything from this size up. Within reason. I mean, on one this size, you would probably want to use 2 paper clips. It makes it a little harder to put onto pages. But if you're using it for something special, for instance, if you want to use a paper clip like this, and you want to put photos into an album, but you don't want them in there glued, you just want to put them in there temporarily, make paper clips and glue your photo to the paper clip on the front, like this. Glue it so that it's down more toward the bottom of your picture, and if you need 2, you can put 2 side, just put them side by side, depending on the size of your photo, of course. But glue them. I don't know if you can see how close I am to the edge here. So glue it close to the edge, right? And then in your album, put a strip of cardstock, paper, something, where this will hold the picture where you want it. I don't know if I've made that like mud or not, but let's pretend this is an album page and I want my picture to be here. and I want my paper clip to hold it in. Now I want to keep my paper clip straight on the picture, not crooked, because if I want to move the picture, I want to be able to put it appropriately. If you want it crooked, you make the card that you're going to slide it onto crooked. So in my case, okay, I've sort of placed the paper clip is here, and you can do it this way too. Don't necessarily glue the paper clip to your item, to your picture. Pretend this is a photo. Okay, so you're going to glue it, and it's going to be about there on your picture. Now for demonstration, we're gonna pretend this is like cardstock, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this up while holding the paper clip in place. Okay, and then that becomes, you put that in, and that now becomes where your picture is going to be. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. I'm using a piece of, okay, let's use this instead. Let me just show that again, because if you have photos that you want to use this trick for this idea for, then I want it to be clear that, you know, this is what you do. So you sort of put your paper clip, or two if you want, onto the back, but don't glue it down unless you've already, unless it's one that you're taking from someplace else and everything. Then you'll have to, you know, kind of Mickey Mouse it. But the first time you do it, don't take it off, don't glue it to the back of your picture yet. Lay the picture on your album where you want it to be. Carefully hold that, lift this, take it off. I know this is white on white. I'm sorry, I don't have anything else to do it on. Now, take a strip of whatever it is you're going to use to hold this, to put this onto. Take that, holding this paper clip in place, push that so that it's on the paper clip like you're going to, like it's already hooked on the paper clip. Now you can do it, there's another way of doing it. Slide this onto your paper, kind of in the middle of where you want it to be. And if you've got two paper clips, do that. Put that like that, okay? Put this then onto your picture, like that, line it up. Okay, this is probably easier. I should have thought it first, but there you go. You put your picture where you want it to sit on your page. Lift the picture off. Now you know exactly where your paper needs to be, or your cardstock needs to be. And you can fasten it without taking the paper clip off, or you take the paper clip off and fasten it, whichever way. And then, you know, put your paper clip onto your thing, and you can slide your picture on. Anyway, that's how you would put it into an album. That's how you'd use it in an album. The one I'm making today isn't going to be for that. It's just going to be a pretty paper clip. So I have lots of different really pretty papers and pages and things to choose from. I kind of like this one. It's a little bit on the winter side though for me for now. I'm really tired of winter, and it's only just arrived. Today's a not bad day, which is why I can actually do some recording. Yesterday I couldn't even breathe hardly. Anyway, here we go. Now for this one, because I put my loop on the top, of my paper clip, I need to have my loop above where my cover is. So I want my loop kind of in the middle, so I kind of line that up like that. Now, if you want to make a mark, just take a pencil and just make a light mark, you know, kind of on the back of the card. There. Yep, got it. And that tells you where you need to glue. Should have glued the bottom, or marked the bottom too, so I know how far down to go, or how far not to. Okay, and then you just take your glue. You can either put it on here or put it on here. I like to put it on here so I don't end up gluing my paper clip together. I've done that. So just put some glue, and you don't need a huge amount. You need enough that it's going to hold it in place, of course, because it is cardstock and it's doubled over and all sorts. So, you know, you need enough, but you don't have to have an overabundance. And then you can smooth it out just like this, and that makes it even on the back. And then set your thing back in place, and you have to hold it, of course. Now you can hold it again. Take some other paper clips, some just little ones. Make sure that your top, sorry, I keep pulling beyond my green tape. I put it there so I wouldn't do that. Didn't work well. Anyway, just clip that in place so that it has a chance to dry together. Well, that wasn't good. Did you see what I did? I put the paper clip in between. Very wise, I must say. Yeah, happens to the best of us. Okay, there, that might hold it a little bit better. And you want to kind of squeeze the top so that it, you know, holds there in the middle. You get your glue, but you don't need to make the dent thing. You're just squeezing the top, just so that the front is gluing to the top level. And that is, now if you want to stop there, that's it. That's your paper clip. Take these off when it's dry, and you're good. And if you want to cover the back, which a lot of people do, and you can cover it either completely, like find another picture or the same one and cover it, or some cardstock or some pretty paper, or, you know, whatever kind of, but the same size. This red is closer to the same size. I won't use it, but it is closer to the same size. Cut it to size, you know. So it would look like, whoops, like that, sort of. Okay, it would have that sort of look. So it would be covered on both sides like that to the same length, and you would actually not glue the bottom part together, because then you can't get your paper clip to work. Let's make sure that our paper clip is not glued. Yeah, it's good, not glued. Okay, let's get you out of there. Come out. There we go. Okay. All right, now I just want to put a little thing on the bag. This is cute. I mean, if you were going to send it to a friend as a bookmark, which you could do, you could pop these into a card and make a special little bookmark for somebody, you know, something that just says something. This one just says sending love. You could even decorate up the front, make it really cute and pretty. This kit, well, these kits, because it's more than one mixed together here, they have all sorts of pretty wishes and circles and all sorts. The one with all the these birds and things was a winter one, and it's from the UK, and their robins look different from ours. So that is a robin. This is another drawing. No, this is a robin. Sorry, that's not. This is a robin in the UK, if you've never seen one. They're delicate. Ours are thrush. Theirs are something, a finch, I believe. I believe they're in the finch family. Looking at their, or not the finch. The beak's too light for a finch. Anyway, whatever family they're in, they're not the thrush. So the North American robins are completely different from the European robins. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to add this Friends Are Like You Are Special and Few. And I'm just going to put it on here. It's just to make the back look a little nice. And now, when you're gluing, glue on this part instead of on that, because it's going to be too hard to line it up. Only glue on this part, because otherwise you won't be able to use it as a paper clip. It'll just be a blobby thing. Card. Put some glue around. Make sure that you've got enough, but not an overabundance. And again, you can use your whatever that you're putting on. You can sort of push the glue flatter or whatever, just to get it to the edges a little bit. That was a mistake. Yeah, don't use the bottom where you're gluing. Yeah. Then line this up. You can see I'm not really thinking clearly necessarily. Line this up, try and center it a bit. I'm trying to center on the sides. I'm not being very successful. And then sort of press down. And again, you can kind of paper clip your edges until it dries on. Kind of press it. Take a piece of cardstock and slide it up where your paper clips are to, make sure that it's not glued. You don't need it glued. And that is a hidden paper clip. If you want to decorate the top, you can do a number of things. Now I've got some really old chain here. You can use old chain. You can use more old chain that's just finer. Clean them up if you want to. I mean, it's up to you what the look is that you're going for. You can use slip rings. Join a few of them together and make a slip ring thing. And you can use these bubble pins, bulb pins, and they're called that because they're shaped like a light bulb, little tiny light bulb. And they just unpin like your regular pin, like a safety pin does. And you can hook that through there and pin it back together. This makes it really easy to change for toppings. Pin it back together. Come on, work for me. Okay, it doesn't want to. It's saying absolutely not. There. Finally, it decided it wanted to. So you can use that, and then you can hang things from that. You can use charms. Now, I was going to pull out some charms, and I completely forgot. So they're over there someplace, and I'm not going to go after them because that would be foolish. But what you could do, now I've got a really tiny hole punch. This is a 1.5 millimeter hole punch, which is, I think, about 1/8 of an inch. What you could do is take a small grating, punch a hole, punch a tiny hole, because it would look silly with a big hole. Just punch a tiny hole like that, and undo your bulb thing again, because why wouldn't you? Okay, let's do it this way. Put the bulb pin through you, and then through here. Sorry, that's Gary's phone. Somebody's at the door, it sounds like. There. So that's, one thing that you can do with them to decorate, or you could put charms, or you can, like I said, put chain on there. I like the bulb clip. I don't know if I'm hanging it correctly or not. But yeah, I think if you hang it, I don't know, hang it however it works for you. Yeah, that is a hidden paper clip. Now I said I was going to make another one to kind of show you once again. I'm going to use a small one and do a different so that they're even folded. And we'll just use a tiny covering for it and stuff. You still need to cut to start with cardstock, so you still want it about 3 times. You can make it wider if you want, like if you really want to have a sort of a good connection, a better connection than just the skinniness of this, then make it a little bit wider, because of course the wider your connection is. Now I can't show you on this because of course we've covered it, but the wider your connection is, the wider your paper clip actually is. Oh, I'm doing well. Come on. This is the problem that I have with these things on the, when I put things on the back as a back picture, is I catch them all the time. So I tend to not do that. On mine, I leave them blank on the back. And I mean, they look just as pretty on the front. Generally, I'm leaving them blank. Okay, set that aside. Okay, so we need cardstock that's at least 3 times the width. And I'm gonna, this along here. Can you see that? Okay, I'm gonna put this along here. And I'll line it up on one of the edges here so that I know it's a straight thing. And I'm going to set this guy in the middle, and then you can see that, see, these are 1/2 inch. I don't know if you can even see the little squares, but you can see that they're 1/2 inch. So you want at least a 1/2 inch on either side. If I take it to here, I'm going to have that wide of an actual paper clip, okay? Then I'm just going to get my ruler, get you out of the way. I've got paper clips all over the place and stuff everywhere on my desk. I don't normally craft messy. I'm usually quite neat about my crafting area while I'm crafting, because then I can find everything and nothing gets glued that shouldn't, and you know, all those things. Okay, let's draw us a line. That just makes it easier to cut. We don't need 8.5 inches on this one. So what we do is, again, line it up on some of these lines. If you've got one of these, if not, you may just use your ruler or whatever to kind of line, or just use your paper clip. Now this one, I'm not gonna leave a thing up in the air. So I don't need to take that into consideration when I'm measuring my length. So I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna go like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I can cut this paper around here. Okay. Okay, scissors out, nip in once, come on. Okay, hands are really shaky. I am sorry, my hands are shaky today. I am, as I've said a few times, not well. But I'm getting this done for you. I hope you appreciate the effort. Let me know in the comments, you know, like what you think. What do you think of my videos, Ty? What do you think of, you know, the way that we're doing them? Would you like to see some changes? Is there anything you'd like to see? Like, what would you like me to be showing? In a paper crafting world, there's so many things. If you let me know, then I can make a plan for doing things, as long as it's like paper. Because I don't work in multimedia. I have played around with some air dry clay. That's about it. Okay, now where did my paper clip? Oh, jeez. Set it way over there. Yeah, we're doing well. Okay, so we're going to fold this in half, just like we did the other one. Bone fold it down. Now, slide it in right to the end this time, okay, because we're going to hide this one. Anyway, slide it in. I'm going to fold this one first because I'm going to make this one even on the bottom instead of shorter on the back and longer on the front. Okay, so we fold it up. We still end up with extra. We want to end up with extra. You don't want to try and make this exact, because if you make it too short, you got to start over. Because you can cut off, but you can't add on. And then we want to fold this one even with this one. So do your best to kind of line it up, give it a fold. Then we're going to cut this off, right? No, we're not. Yes, we are. I'm going to cut it off here. So because we're doing it right on the edge, I mean, you can draw a line like this across and do your cutting, or you can fold it like we did last time. I'm trying to show you different ways of approaching things, and I'm hoping I'm being helpful by doing that. You can let me know, like, you know, talk to me in the comments, because the comments really help Gary and I to know what it is that you want and what it is that you're enjoying, what it is you don't like. Just don't be rude, because rudeness is just going to get your comment deleted. That's one thing that we won't tolerate, is rudeness and spams and things like that. They will be taken out. But be kind. If you're giving a negative, If, for instance, you dislike and you click the little dislike hand, then tell me why. I can't correct something if I don't know what the problem is. And if you're the only one with the problem, then perhaps I won't change. If you make a point, you tell me something, then you have a bunch of people like your comment. That means that several other people agree with you. And then I can look at it and I can say, well, okay, maybe we need to look at that and address it and change it. If it's something that I can change, some things I can, other things I can't. I have no control over them. The comments are important to you to get across to me what it is you like and dislike, things you want me to do. Talk to me in the comments. It's really the only way that you have of telling me things and I have of answering you. And I try to answer, well, I do answer every comment in some way. I mean, it's usually just thank you very much for watching us and I hope you enjoyed it. But if you've got something to tell me about it, then I really appreciate that because that's very helpful. And if you, like I said, if you dislike something, tell me why. What is it? If you're giving me an I don't like you, then tell me why. I mean, is it because I'm old? Well, then I can't change that. That's not something that's going to change. But if it's because I'm doing something or whatever, or not doing something, then make a suggestion and we'll look at it. Anyway, back to the paper clip. So now we're just going to clip these down, and I'm clipping on the inside of my line because when you draw a line like that, it is usually on the outer edge and sometimes longer than what you really want it. Clip on the inside of your line, just right along the inside of your line, because that's generally where the thing was that you were measuring from. Get rid of those. And now we glue. And these are done exactly the same way. We glue, and there's your paper clip there. And I'm apologizing again for my cold and sniffling and coughing, but if there's anything I can do about that either, other than stop making videos, and I don't want to do that. We really are having fun with this whole idea. We're learning a lot. I mean, there's tons to learn. Now, don't forget to push down in the middle to glue that middle, because that seals in the actual paper clip and gets it sealed into place. And then we'll glue on the other side. Because it's smaller, it's kind of quicker, easier to glue. There we go. That's nice. And then we do this. Push the glue up so that it gets to the edges. Push it out. Yeah, you get a little bit of glue on your fingers. It's fine. And you know, things like this where the glue kind of makes a mark or something makes a mark on you, don't worry about it because you're going to cover it up. Now you have an even one. So now you want something to cover this. Now, I'm looking over here at this adorable fox. And I'm thinking, that adorable fox, look adorable, my paperclip. So I don't know. I mean, he was part of probably the cover of the book. I got written on here. Oh, Papercraft Essentials, number 190. So that's where this came from. So if you see that book, that's this in it. Papercraft Essentials is quite a lovely magazine. There's another one called Simply Cards and Papercraft, and it's another really lovely magazine. You get stuff in them, really nice kits. And in Simply Cards and Papercraft, you can get dies, you can get stamps, all sorts. This one you do as well. Now, I'm coming down here and I've got some feathers. So I need the feathers. I don't want the bunny, so I'm going to cut the bunny out. I'm going to keep the leaves, keep the feather. This is really actually not that difficult for me to cut. And I have glaucoma and cataracts. I'm I'm a little blurry, so if I mess up and don't cut exactly on the line, that's just the way it is for me. But you probably have better eyesight than I have. Possibly not. I mean, you may have worse eyesight than I have. But we work with what we've got when we get old. I mean, you just do. There's no point in allowing it to send you into huge depression because you've only got so much life left, and you may as well just live it with dealing with what you get and working with what you have. There. Now I know his ear is a little bit, off. I don't care. I mean, you might care in your life, but I don't care in mine. And I'm only doing one side of my paperclip, so I'm only going to cover one side. I just have to make sure I've found the bottom. I'm just going to slide him up the bottom because he's a nice heavy piece of cardstock. I just want to slide up, make sure that that's not glued. And then he's going to be paperclip. Now, isn't he sweet? And you don't have to put it on the bottom or anything. You can put this in the middle. Like, put it kind of more in the middle. As long as when you're putting it on there, you don't get frustrated trying to find the paperclip part. Anyway, so let's put my fox on. He's adorable. I like him. He's going to make a really nice paperclip. I might trade him in for the other guys that I have. I'm just making sure I've glued upside down before. So I'm just making sure I'm not gluing upside down. And with the way that we've done this paperclip, it doesn't matter what's back or front. Because you're not using a short or a long, you're using the long side on both ends. Okay. So a big blob of glue came out at the very beginning. So I've just kind of not squeezed and spread it around. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, my voice is going. I'm going to have to quit pretty quick here. Okay, so now we put Foxy on here. And we're going to try and make it straight. Now, I'm not caring about this part. I'm not caring about this part being, looked after by the paperclip part or stabilized by it, because it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to push on the sides. I think he's very cute. Oh, yeah, I'm going to like using this one. But you see, you can do that. You take something like this that's sort of a mishmash of things, or in this particular thing, this was a decoupage set. So it had heads of the animals so that you could decoupage, you could layer it. So you could take the heads, all these heads, and you could, put a little bit of greenery of some sort if you wanted, and then just put the heads. And layer 2 or 3 of them if you wanted, to really dress it up. But yeah, oops, look, I got it on crooked. And that ain't going to get straight, because now I pushed, I pushed and made it crooked. It's fine. It's a paperclip. Okay, let's try this. Look at that. Oh, that's so cute. Let me turn this over. Do this. Do this. Oh, that's so cute. Isn't that cute? Oh, I like that one. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to it. So I made you 2. I made you a big one. Showed you how to line up and do the back and all that. How to hook things on if you want to. Showed you how to do a small one. The rest is up to you. Find your things. Get your paper clips out. Make them pretty instead of just using your blah blah old ones. Look at this. Look at this compared to that. There's no comparison. Look at the difference between these. I mean, they don't even compare. Oops, I got glare on you. Oh, I gotta lift them up. But look, this is blah blah. This is used pretty. All right, that's it for today. If you watched until now, you obviously liked what you were seeing. So please click that little like button. Leave me a comment. Tell me how you felt, what you think of this whole idea. Are you going to use it or not? And please subscribe so that you know what's coming out on Saturday. All right, see you then. Love you and leave you. Bye for now.